Evening, folks. I thought I'd play that because it's really cool. Thank you, Danka, for making that for us. It's greatly appreciated. Hello, everyone. It's Middle-Aged Gamer Guy. How are you doing? Also known as Mags. And welcome to another Tuesday night gaming chat where we talk about all the latest gaming news and reviews from the last 7 days or so. Let's see who is in chat tonight. Firstly, Mr. Game Tank, how are you? He was the first one here. He was well early. Good to see you. Gilfly, good evening. How you doing? Danka, good evening. How are you? Let's scroll down. Pardon me. Manic, how you doing? Aurelian, howdy. Good to see you. Gilfly, thank you for your resub. That's now 17 months. Greatly appreciated. Sombrero, hello. Thank you for the follow. How you doing? Jesse, good evening. Our guest from last week, Ellie, hello. How are you? Good to see you. Ubi, good to see you again as well. And there's Sombrero. Thank you again. Flame, good evening. How's it going? Who else? Evening Eye Quail. Good to see you. There you go. Hello. Kylie. Hello. Good evening. How are you, Kylie? Howdy. Also, Jenny. Hi. How's it going? Hope you're all wonderful. You've had a wonderful bank holiday weekend and the first day back at work for those who did go back to work. Wasn't too bad for you. Let's crack on. We've got a cracking show for you tonight. Loads of games to talk about. But of course, I can't do that by myself because I have to have basically the fountain of knowledge, which is the co-host that knows the most. It's the one, it's the only, Mr. David Jones.
Evening, mate. How you doing?
I am very well. How are you, sir?
I'm all right, thank you.
There you go. That intro, I like that now. I'm going to keep using that as much as possible if we can. Danka's like, yeah, he got the thumbs up. It hasn't. Nothing's been signed off, but I thought we'd use it anyway. So there you go. But it's all good. There you go. I like that. Jesse says, Jesse's brought that. He can't do it by himself because Mag is incompetent. True story. Guys, that intro was amazing. Yeah, don't worry. We'll probably just run with it all the time, but I like it. So screw it. I'm going to play it. So thank you. How you been? What you been playing?
I've been doing all right, thank you, mate. It was nice to have a nice long weekend. It was good. The weather turned out all right, actually.
It was, wasn't it?
It was to rain at some point, but it turned out quite nice.
It's been all right. It's been okay.
Yeah, I got a few jobs done, but I did manage to do a bit of gaming in between doing other stuff. But I was only really playing one game all week since last week's show. Okay. I was just playing in VR. I've just been playing Walkabout Mini Golf. Which is actually really good.
What is that then?
Fantastic VR game. It is, as the title says, it's a mini golf game. So you go play mini golf and the little courses to put in stuff. It's that really, but in VR, and it's just really really good because they did a fantastic job. Getting the feel right for when you hitting the ball with a putter. They've got that just absolutely perfect. So it feels like you get the right amount of power. When you hit it, it just feels quite natural. So I was just really getting into that. It's got some really cool courses. Some are easier than others. They can do a little bit more than you could in your average, mini golf, down a local shopping centre where they've got to keep it fairly straightforward. They can, go a bit more elaborate. Some of the course designs on this. There's definitely some challenging, holes to deal with there. But I was getting the hang of it. I was, very, very good. Thoroughly enjoying it. So most of the games I've played recently, I kind of feel like some of them I've just played them to death because it was like the same type of games. It's hard to get excited about them. Right. This is a nice change. It's just simple game, works perfectly. It's got pretty simple graphics, low poly graphics, but they work for the game and look very good.
I mean,
nice sort of chill music as well.
And it saved you £12 per head going to a crazy golf course. So
that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Hello, Pete. Good evening. Can we get a shout out for Pete, by the way, because he's our community member of the month? Go check out the Rapid Reviews podcast. He said that the TCGS podcast keeps saying how good that mini golf game is. So there you go.
It really is.
Someone else. Podcast,
I'd recommend it if you got VR. Give it a go.
Nice. I ain't got VR. I ain't got enough space to swing a cat in here. So one day when I get my new studio, I'll be all right. I do miss my old studio because you could literally swing a cat, but no cats were harmed when attempting that. So there you go. I've been playing. I finally finished Banishers over the bank holiday weekend.
Was it good in the end?
It was, except me being me. I managed to get the worst ending you can possibly get in the game because there's 4 endings. And of course, I got the shittest ending my decisions and what I did. I did enjoy it, and then the game. The thing is, the game then wants you. If you get the worst ending, the game wants you to basically go back and play it all again to change your choices. And I'll be honest,
it's got the time for that these days.
I can't be asked because I've probably sunk about 50 hours into that game, and I'm just like, no, move on. So I started with, I literally started yesterday back with the new Alone in the Dark because it didn't get great reviews. And when I played it, it was a bit janky, but it's had a 14 gig update and it seems a bit better now. The combat and the weird thing that when you fire the gun, it doesn't go bang 5 seconds later. They've fixed that. The hitting combat's terrible, but the gun combat has massively improved. So they have fixed that. So I'm enjoying that. Whether I enjoy it as much as Banishes. I thought Banishes was very well written, very well done. This is a bit janky, but we'll see. And I'm literally on the last 8 levels of Mario versus Donkey Kong, the remake, which are like the hardest. So I'm not going to lie, I've been using tutorials because I just keep dying. So
you get that sometimes. You can work out some levels, and other ones just completely stump you. I was trying to play a Portal mod the other week. It wasn't a very good Portal mod because the physics just wasn't working very well. The momentum side of this Portal mod, it just didn't work well. So I was like on the second test chamber. You shouldn't get stuck in the second test chamber. Could I get it to work properly? No. I had to find a little guide that basically said you cheat it this way. I didn't. I moved on, and the next bit was crap. So it wasn't a very good Portal mod, that one. Portal Prelude, I think it was called. Don't waste time.
Okay, I've not seen that one.
Much better Portal mods out there.
We've just got to say thank you to Ellie for the tier 1 sub. Greatly appreciated. Exclamation sub hype in chat. Show your appreciation for keeping the lights on in this place. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you, Ellie. If Gilfly didn't get a shout out earlier when we were starting, could you please give him a shout out if you'd be so kind? If you did, then that's great. Manic says he's been playing some Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 last week. Is that the originals or the remakes, dude? Let me know. And it's funny you should bring that up because tomorrow I'm doing the first of a new thing where I have to play horror games all the way up to Halloween. Because believe it or not, producer Amy and me have already figured out the whole Halloween schedule. So she wants me to play a game once a month to build up, but I think I've got off lightly because it is random games, and she only told me today. And I've got to play Resident Evil 3 remake because I've never played it. So I think I've got off lightly. That's tomorrow night. So that's tomorrow night's mystery game. But I've seen some of the other games that are in the pool for stuff, and I was like, okay, they're going to be a lot worse. I think it's going to be really bad when I get to Halloween, like really scary stuff. But I think just easing me in with Resident Evil 3 remake, so that I can live with. So I know some people loved it, some people didn't, but I'll give my opinion on that. And it is free on PS Plus and free on Game Pass as well. So that's a bonus. I'll pick which one. Gozzo, good evening. How are you? Guys, did I play Suicide Squad? Yes, we played Suicide Squad. And we got the Joker in the season pass. Was it really worth it? No.
I think that's a general consensus.
You have to grind 35 levels to then unlock him and then get the one and only story mission in it. And it wasn't really worth it, but it's fun. And it means we've got a 5th character to play with. So we'll see. There you go. Is it a mystery game? If you tell the whole internet was, well, it was a mystery game until now, but I only found out today. Sophie, good evening. I'm assuming Sophie's guiding this. I've lost the comment. Where's the comment gone? I'm sure this is guided at you, Dave. Hey, you super gorgeous human. So hot, because I doubt it's me.
Most likely.
Yeah, so there you go.
How you doing, Sophie?
I like the fact you're so confident with that. Evening, Soph. So there you go. But let's crack on. I hope I haven't missed anything else. Good to see you, Gozzo. Good to have you here. Hey, Mag. Yes, it was. There you go. There you go. Dave is absolutely right. There you go. Confirmation. Well, we move on. Let's bring in our guest. Obviously, we have lots of different guests. This wonderful gentleman is a content creator and streamer, not only on Twitch, but also on YouTube and TikTok. I had the privilege of getting to meet him at EGX last October. I'm also recollecting that I think we both went to the content creator conference that was held at EGX. If you obviously said, I think we were in the same room for that, which was out of the thing and upstairs where I met some other wonderful people that I've seen at other events. And then most recently, and hence why wearing the t-shirt, he was at WASD. So please welcome our guest for this week, the gentleman that is Mr. JB Chicken Nuggs.
Woo! Ooh, keep it down, people. Keep it down. I know. Thank you for the introduction. How is everyone doing?
I'm very well. How are you, my friend?
I'm very well, thank you. Very, very well.
Good. Jesse says the WASD t-shirt is wicked. It is, isn't it? It's a great t-shirt.
And it was free.
It's free. Even better. You can't complain with that. JB didn't feature in the video of WASD, but the back of his head did, because we were filming that puzzle game with the scrapbook, which was really good. So you can hear his voice in the back of his head, but you don't see him on the video. So my apologies about that.
That's the best part of me, so it's fine.
Yeah, there you go. If you're not already following JB on Twitch, his channel's there. Thank you, mods, for putting the channel right there. I thought I recognised that sexy haircut, says Big Jesse. So there you go. So yes, he recognised the back of your head. Sophie's like, wow, he likes plants.
Yes, I live in a bit of a jungle. Yeah, this is just half of what's in the house.
We'll have to, if we're getting back on as a guest another time, we'll have to see the other half. So
Tour, plant tour.
Yeah. He says, well, I guess I know what I'm going to be buying tomorrow for lunch. Chicken nuggets.
Hey,
I think they are less than £1 in Sainsbury's.
Hey, to be fair, that's a bargain.
Oh, Gozzo's had some good news. Gozzo says, guys, guess what? I'm going to be on TV next week. We've had the people from ITV come round today. You're going to have to give some context that you're going to be on ITV. You're going to be on the ITV news. There you go. Sophie says, love the plants. Love it. Jenny says, I'm here for the T-shirt.
I literally put it on just before. I was like, oh, what do I wear? What do I wear? So the big TV show. It's my big break, Mum. What do I wear?
Big Jesse says, Junglist Massive. Wicked. There you go. Ellie says, evening. JB.
Good evening.
There you go. Sophie says, oh, bless him. There you go. Banging choice, Mum. There you go. There you go. So for those who don't know you, tell us a little bit more about your channels, because obviously you do a heck of a lot on TikTok, but you're also on Twitch and YouTube. So tell people what they can expect from your channels and the stuff that you stream.
So when you first land on my channel, you probably see there's a lot of Overwatch. For a while, I was an Overwatch streamer, and then kind of fell out of love with it, as you do with every kind of addiction, and have kind of branched out into story games and puzzle games. I really enjoy puzzle, indie games, cozy games. So I stream 3 days a week, always on TikTok, sometimes on Twitch. My PC is a little bit of a diva, so it won't let me play some games. But recently played Red Dead Redemption, Hogwarts Legacy, and then the cozier games, Little to the Left, Viewfinder, all of those kind of like nice little puzzle games. So the content I make is clips from the stream. On Overwatch, it was more like how well do you know your friends, kind of quizzes, stuff like that. Nice.
Is it always been that kind of stuff that you've been into, or is it something you kind of fell into as you were doing your streaming?
I think it's kind of, I always liked puzzle games. I was terrible at them. I remember trying to play Portal years ago and being like, what the hell is this? And then, I don't know, as I got older, I kind of, FPSs have always been my thing. Call of Duty World at War was like my favorite game, Call of Duty 4 as well. And then as I've got older, I've branched out and matured, I'd like to say, and now appreciate a nice story game that you can get kind of stuck into. And especially streaming on TikTok, I've started to build a really nice community and get people coming back every time being like, I can't wait for this big thing happening. And kind of, so on Red Dead Redemption 2, when you finish the game, there's 2 parts of the epilogue at the very end. And I kind of was like, I'm not playing them. I'm giving up. And then I got pushed to play them. And I'm so glad I did, because they blew my mind.
Nice. Oh, Sophie's giving you a follow on the Talk of Tick.
Thank you, Sophie. Thank you.
There you go. There you go. Gozzo's going to be on ITV on the 30th of May, hopefully. Gozzo, keep us posted. And it's going to be on the local news. After the local news. Okay, cool. So you're going to be on the main news. I'm intrigued to see what that's all about. So there you go. Favorite games of all time then, before we move on with the show?
That is always a question that I like to avoid. I think I think my favorite games are probably Call of Duty World at War, because it's probably one of the games I've sunk most hours in of an FPS. Halo 3, because of the Forge mode, and I spent countless hours on Forge mode. And then probably RuneScape.
Oh, okay.
It kind of like, so I'm dyslexic, and it kind of helped me learn to do quicker maths, actually learn how to spell, touch type, did all of that from like school. I sucked at school, so this was kind of like a side education, should we say.
I just want to say a quick thank you to the Jenga for the follow. Greatly appreciate it. I remember the 3,000 hour grind on RuneScape. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for first time here. So I'm going to have to break this to you, JB, because Sophie's put Mag loves Halo. I can't stand Halo, and Halo 3 was my worst one. I'm so sorry.
Halo 3 was great.
Do you think that was the story?
I just couldn't I couldn't stand it. I'm really sorry. But but then I'm in this weird thing that I loved Halo Infinite, and loads of people that I know that love the Halo games didn't like Halo Infinite. So I'm like, hey, what do I know? You know, I do not lie. I do not live for it. Sophie lies. Danka, thank you for the bit. Greatly appreciate it. He said he was going to drop a bit in every day over the next couple of days, which is hilarious, which is brilliant. Thank you, Danka. Greatly appreciate it. He's keeping to his promise. There you go. Cool. So please do go follow JB on his Twitch. I will drop the link for his TikTok as well. So mods, feel free to shout out either of these in a bit as well. So let me drop that in there. So there's his TikTok. But gentlemen, do you think we are ready to start the show?
I reckon so, mate.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go, because this is our 166th show. God damn it. We've got 8 new games, including the horror game Indika, MotoGP 24, Hades 2 early access, which literally landed yesterday and nobody realized it was happening. Plus, we've got 100 games to play before you die, and also all the latest gaming news that has happened from the last 7 days. Jenga says, I was always a PlayStation guy, so never played Halo, sadly. Well, if you're in Dave and JB's camp, they're going to say you've missed out greatly. If you're on my camp, you ain't fucking missed fuck all. So there you go. Let's crack on with our first game tonight. I have to say, I do think this trailer is giving this game a disservice. This came out on PC last Thursday, but comes out on PlayStation and Xbox tomorrow, weirdly. This is the horror game Indika, but the trailer doesn't portray it that way. So just take this with a pinch of salt, folks. But here's the trailer. Let's have a look.
The story of a strong woman.
Sorry.
Sent on an important mission.
I forgot myself for a moment. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
During which she will discover her life's true purpose.
Did we climb all the way here just for this?
Her name is...
You. The cloistress is here!
None is fine.
Indika. The story of a nun told as a racing game?
No.
A loot-based RPG?
No.
A city builder?
No.
An arcade game?
Not.
A walking sim?
No.
A survival horror?
Not.
As a comedy?
No.
Or a tragedy?
No.
No, none of that. Indika, a subversive, self-endeavorous, multi-meta-layered, non-perspective, conscious-driven action answer seeker, out now.
Yeah, what the fuck to that trailer?
Feels like it's trying to be a bit art housey, really, doesn't it? The way it's doing that trailer.
It's got that thing where it's trying to do the grindhouse thing, where it's like a little bit crackly and thing and that. But then you kind of go, So I don't know. Everyone's like, what? What the fuck? Triangle Face, good evening. How you doing? We were just watching the lads from Retro Gaming Revival. They were doing their WASD review. I hope the rest of your show went brilliantly. Ben, good evening. He's like, what the actual Gilf like? Jenny said, I quite liked it. There you go. I don't have a fecking clue what I watched. You're not the only one, Jenga. I still don't know what the gameplay is. Have we hit the point where the only way to get attention is a what the fuck trailer? I want whatever drugs Jenny is on, says Sophie. Yes, all good, mate. Thanks for stopping by. No, thank you for stopping by. Greatly appreciate it. It's good to have fellow podcasters and streamers that we watch your show and you come back and watch ours. It's greatly appreciated. I thought it was wacky when I first heard of this. But Dave, tell us exactly what this is, just to kind of clarify for all the people that are sitting there at home going,
Well, it's a third-person sort of narrative-heavy adventure game. You're played as a nun called Indika. You're in a slightly alternative 19th century Russia.
Okay.
Indika's at this monastery when the game starts, doing as your usual sort of mundane shit a nun tends to do. But she has got like a voice in her head, and the voice in her head is the devil.
Okay.
So she goes a bit of a sort of journey of self-discovery, to try to sort of work out kind of like what's going on with her, why she's got the devil's voice in her head. As I say, it's third-person game, but it has got puzzle elements to it. So you kind of get a few glimpses of them in the trailer. Looks like the usual sort of stuff you get in these types of games, moving boxes around, using cranes to manipulate stuff in the environment, those sorts of puzzles. But then there are little segments where it goes like 2D pixel art, where it's doing that to sort of show some of her backstory before she went to the monastery.
Right, okay.
So it's definitely a bit of a unique game. Definitely not going to be for everybody. I'd say to people, go and look at better trailers than the one you just saw, or so you can find someone playing it to get a bit more of an idea of what it's going to be. It looks interesting. It's the sort of thing I'd probably give a go, but I don't know whether it would hold my attention all the way through. I don't think it's that long a game, 6 to 8 hours maybe from what I've seen.
Right.
It looks a little bit different than the usual stuff we've seen recently.
Okay, all right.
Different sort of ideas. Playing as a nun, don't often get that. So
no, I mean that's true. That's true. What did JB? What did you think of?
I quite enjoyed it. I like the kind of humor behind it. It does make me think they've gone, oh, should we make a game? Yeah, what game? Yeah, and just gone. Let's just chuck a bit of everything in and see what happens. I like the concept. A nun with the devil. Is it going to be scary, or is it just going to be kind of like a game that you finish and you're a bit like, okay, cool. Yeah, that was a game. I liked it giving a few different types of game, because sometimes when you play a game, you kind of, if you don't enjoy it, you're going to get bored. Whereas this, you're like, okay, if I finish this little bit, maybe the next part of it might get better.
Yeah,
which is maybe what they're hoping for, kind of pull someone along. But yeah, no, I don't know if I'll play it. If it's free on Xbox Game Pass or free on anywhere that I can get it, I probably would play it. But yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we don't review the games for anyone who's not seen the show before, but what we do is we basically scour the internet to basically get an average score, whether this be from such sites as Eurogamer, Metacritic, IGN, GameSpot, GamerRanks, to name a few. And we basically have got an average score. You may agree with it, you may not, but it's a bit of fun. And you can score anything between 0 and 10 with a 0.5 score. Now, some people have already dropped the scores in already. iQual said, I've no idea what I just saw. Not a clue. 6 maybe. Danka says, let's go for a strong 8. Gozzo says a 7.5. Kylie says 7, although the trailer deserves a score of none. Good joke. Ben's like, I have no idea what to rate that off the trailer. Well, have a think, because you've got a few seconds. Anyone who gets it right will get a shout out in the chat. So, Dave, let's start with you. What do you reckon this has got?
I'm going to try 7.5.
7.5. Okay. Ben's decided on 6.5. Okay. And JB, what do you reckon?
I feel like it's a solid 6.5. But on a pun way, I'd give it a 0, because then it's holy.
Hey! I wish I don't know whether you'll hear this. Hang on. Oh, I can't do that. I normally have a tag that I play, but I can't do it because I haven't got it turned on. But there you go. Oh, my life. Okay. So also, Triangle Face says 7. Flame says 9. Oh, okay. Jenny says 8. I didn't see it as I just got here, but definitely a solid 7. That's fine. Let's go. Right. Last chance, folks. This is Indika, which came out on PC last Thursday, but is out on Xbox and PlayStation tomorrow. So literally like a bit of a week gap between the two releases. There you go. If there are no more scores, and yes, I can go, wah, 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 I can tell you that this, ladies and gentlemen, did score an 8 out of 10. So it got really good write-ups for this one. So I don't think I'd rush out and buy this, but unlike with Dave and JB, if this pops up on PS Plus or Xbox Game Pass, I would play this straight away. But if you like the look of it, go out and buy it because it was very highly rated. So congratulations, Danka. You got it right. Jenny, congratulations. And all the people that are getting shout outs in the channel, please, if you're not following them, please do go follow them. They're wonderful content creators or supporters of this channel, and they spend their time to come here. So please give your time back and go check them out as well because it's greatly appreciated. So there you go. That's our first game. So we're off to a roaring start. You see what I'm doing here? Talking of roaring, here's our next game, folks. This comes round once but a year, as always. And this also came out last Thursday, but is on PC, PS4, 5, Xbox Series X, S1 and S. And this is MotoGP 24. Let's have a look at this. Well, the trailer decided to take a dump on that one, and the first few frames didn't start, but you get the idea. Motorbikes running around the track. It has rooms. Hello, Dave. How you doing? In it, 7 out of 10. Manic says MotoGP, got to be a 7. Gozzo says a 7.5. So we're straight in here. People are already guessing because obviously for the last couple of years that we've been doing this show, we always talk about a MotoGP game. So for those who don't know what it is, Dave, just, go on.
It's a motorbike game. There you go. Covers
nice
it. One. Another iterative yearly update. I think if you own last year's one, you're not going to miss much if you don't bother buying this one because it is just iterative updates. Improve the graphics. I think added dynamic weather, improve the AI. Otherwise, the same stuff. Career modes, multiplayer modes. Not much else to say about it, really. It is just pretty much the same to last year from what I've been reading. But I don't think you don't get many competitors in this particular type of field for this game. So, if you're a fan of it, you're probably going to go and buy it. I would have thought it'll have like the newer races in there, newer liveries and things like that. But for anyone else, just like looks the same as last year's. Yeah.
Well, okay. So we got to try and judge this as if you've never played it before. So it's an interesting one. Does it come finally with VR support? Says Danka. I don't think it does.
I don't think so. No, it'd be quite cool if they did add it in. I don't think it's got VR.
Yeah. Manic said the game was so fast paced, not even the internet could keep up with the trailer. But there you go. People loving your review. That's all you need to know. It's a motorbike game. Guys, says MotoGP. Doctors on motorbikes. Yes, exactly that. It's the long awaited sequel to Theme Hospital. The MotoGP, well, it's a game of that. If you don't know what that means, you probably won't play it anyway. Let's go for a trademark 7.5. Okay, so a couple of people already dropping scores. A lot of people saying 7.5. JB, you a fan of sports games, racing games in general?
No, I really don't like racing games. They drive me crazy.
Okay, so you wouldn't be...
Sorry, there's a pun there.
Yeah,
drive me crazy.
No,
I've never been a fan of like racing games, and every time I do play them, I'm a bit like, it's another racing game. Nice. So yeah, no, it's not going to be on my roster of games I'm going to play.
I'm not fussed about this either.
No.
One of them. Yeah. Danka said, let's trademark 7.5. Kylie said a 7. Dave did not appreciate your joke, Mr. Johnson. Flame says a 7. I'm not really a fan. Cancel the stream,
on
Mag.
Your bike.
Yeah. Hey! Cancel the stream, Mag. The puns does not meet my standards. Manic says a 7. Iquel says a 7. I never tire of racing games. There you go. I only really play racing games with power-ups. We know which.
Yeah. The best kind.
Yeah. Cancel the stream, Mag. The host does not meet my standards. Oh, thanks. Cheers. Am I going to have to step in and take over again? You might have to, Ben, at this rate. It looks like I'm getting at it. On your bike, JB. Oh, God. Okay. So a lot of people saying 7, 7.5 in chat. you haven't got your scores in chat, do it now. But this time we'll start with JB. What do you reckon this got?
I'm gonna agree with everybody. I feel like it's one of those games that comes out, the fans go, great game, 7.5.
Okay, all right. Jenny says, gets my engine going. Jesse, always here for you, Mag. Thanks, Jesse. Triangle Face, I don't actually mean that. I love Jesse to bits. Triangle Face says a 7. Ben says 7.5, so it's all that thing. Dave, what say you?
I was thinking 7.5 as well.
7.5, right. Jenny's gone for an 8. Okay. Oh, is that the highest one we've had? That might be the highest score we've had. Everyone's been 7.5. Okay, all right. Well, last chance, folks. If you haven't put your score in, put it in now. This is MotoGP 24, which came out last Thursday, and it's out on PC, PS4, 5, Xbox Series X, S1, and even on Nintendo Switch, so you can play it on the go, but not while you're driving, okay? Because that'd be dangerous. But there you go. Triangle says, wow, I'm such a Twitch noob. I don't have a profile picture. I only just noticed. That's all right. Walker, hello, all the way from Australia. Good day, Mag. How you doing? Happy birthday, Walker. Happy birthday. And it's your daughter's birthday too. Happy birthday. I can't do the happy birthday song because we're not on the usual stream thing. But if you do pop back in tomorrow, I will sing you happy birthday and to your daughter as well. So happy birthday, Walker. Hope you both have a wonderful, and Minnie Walker as well, as we call her. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful birthday. So there you go. All right, folks, if that's it, I can tell you that this got an 8 out of 10. So again, Jenny is on 2 for 2 tonight. Jenny is out in the lead. You see what I did there? So he's just going to keep going with these terrible puns. But there you go. Well done, Jenny. Dave says it's my birthday tomorrow too. Is it? Is it? If it is,
you can sing for him as well.
Yeah, well, we'll sing for him. He'll probably go, no, don't. Gozzo's like, no way, that's got to be a 7.5. No, it's not his birthday. Oh, fuck that then. I'm not singing him happy birthday. I have the crown ready to hand. Yes, so Jenny might be getting. Danka got the most, quite a few. Gozzo got a lot right last week. So it looks like Jenny's on it on a fire. Better start being nice to Mag before Walker 8573 complains. Thank you. So let's move on to a little bit of news. Now, this basically landed on Wednesday of last week, that we found out that we were talking about on the show last week that whether the most recent Final Fantasy Rebirth game had actually done well because they hadn't unveiled the actual selling figures, which is very unlike Square Enix. But they've actually basically turned around and made a statement, and they still haven't kind of really talked about the Final Fantasy Rebirth thing, but they stated that they have basically, over the last 12 months, sunk $140 million into content that's basically been cancelled or shelved. So they basically called it content abandonment. Basically, they've stated that they were working on a number of projects, which they've now decided that they need to be more selective and focused on the development on certain projects. So it means that 140 million that was put into these projects has now been wasted because they've cancelled these said projects. Now, we don't know what those projects are because we've never seen the light of day. But we do know that obviously Final Fantasy 16 did fairly well, but it's only on PS5. We know that Final Fantasy 7 Remake did well, but Rebirth, we think it hasn't. There has been other games that Square Enix have got coming out soon that they hope to bring out, the new Kingdom Hearts game, etc. But they're saying they're basically focusing on the stuff that's going to make them money. The worrying thing then is, if we find out in a couple of weeks' time, this is what I'm going to ask JB and Dave. Let's say we find out that Rebirth hasn't done well to as expected. Do you think they're going to carry on with said like games and bits that they were going to do for Final Fantasy? Or do you think they're going to kind of go, if this is their new train of thought, if they're being selective and more focused?
I don't know. You might get more sales when the last ones come out, because you might have people holding on until the whole thing's released so they can just sit down and play it in one. Because at the moment, you know, you've waited years since the first one. You're just playing like a middle portion of the story. So there could be a lot of people, waiting for the complete thing to be out. We'll probably see more sales when it hits PC as well for that particular one.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, well, that 140 million they've cut there. I think it's probably the same with a lot of like the big AAA companies. The amount of money they have to spend on these big AAA games now.
Yeah,
they need surefire hits, don't they? You can't have another Suicide Squad. They just cost a fortune, fail miserably, basically. You can't have this. I bet you we're going to see a lot of playing safe from like the big AAA publishers.
I know.
They'll want their guaranteed hits. They won't want to take risks.
I mean, we're not going to talk about it because the news broke today, but obviously Xbox have unveiled that there's a couple of gaming studios that they've let go. And we'll talk about that on next week's show because there's still some more details to come in as we were writing this show. But then you kind of think, Jesus, if Square Enix have got 140 million to, I'm not going to say piss away because obviously they were working on these projects and then it's turned out it hasn't worked. But you kind of go, Christ, there's a lot of studios that could have survived if they had that 140 million. And that's the depressing thought, isn't it?
Oh, it is. But I mean, they're not the only ones, basically wasting money. I mean, I can't remember how much Sega spent on Hyenas that was in development by Creative Assembly. But that was that was too far off going to sort of beta play tests.
Yeah, it was
good. But they canned that off in the end because probably decided see which competition in the multiplayer market they couldn't bring that one out and expect to get their money back.
Yeah, it's
worrying. I think the same with some of these games.
There's going to be a lot of layoffs if that kind of off the back of that. Meaning, yes, they'll stick with the same kind of reliable games, but what's going to come new to those if they haven't got the kind of people behind it making it? And then annoying, it'll fall into that habit of same game, very motorsport GP and stuff like that is like just the same game, slightly different because they want to invest in something new, push the boundaries.
Yeah.
And then it's down to the smaller companies who kind of really can't afford it, coming out and kind of showing them up. So yeah, it's a little bit nerve wracking that's how kind of the AAA titles are going, and the big publishers are kind of slacking a little bit.
It's been it's been more than 6 months now of just nothing but layoffs. It's definitely not the end of it, unfortunately. I'm going to put that out there. It's definitely.
But then I think it's giving space for the small indie companies to kind of thrive. Because there's a lot of so when we went to WASD, for example, there's a lot of games there that I was like, wow, like I've never heard of this game, or so you're talking to some of the game developers and they're like, oh, I worked on this game that's very similar. And it's like me, my wife, one guy was like, oh, it's me, my wife does the artwork, I do the coding and sound, and then we've got a guy somewhere else doing something. Like there's like 5 of them making quite a fun little game.
Yeah.
And yes, they are 3 hours long, but give them a budget, give them the 100 million, see what they can make with that.
Yeah. They could probably make something way better than half the big studios are churning out these days. So we will see. We will see. And if we ever do get those figures of how well Final Fantasy Rebirth does, we will let you know. Let's move on to our next game. This came out. There's a lot of games that came out Thursday because of the bank holiday. So it's like all got crammed together and then some stuff came out. So let's have a look at this. This came out on Nintendo Switch. This is Endless Ocean Luminous. Let's have a look at the trailer for this one. So there you go, folks. That is Endless Ocean Luminous. Tell us a little bit more about this one, please, Dave.
Yeah, this is a adventure simulation game. You're basically just diving through the ocean depths. You know, you've got the task of I think finding and documenting like sort of 500 different marine species that are there.
Okay.
So going to be plenty of swimming. You can tell that for a start, can't you? You guys are going to be searching for all these ones to probably almost a bit like a Pokedex. I bet it's going to be. You're going to be trying to find every single species to like complete your encyclopedia under the ocean. I think it looks quite nice graphics wise. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I say it's got that feel of a sort of cozy game. You can just sort of dive in there and relax. Just chill out. Swimming, just seeing all the fish are doing. If you want to bring some friends in, it did say on the trailer it supports up to 30 people, like in the same ocean. So that's quite cool. I think that's the most they've had in this type of game. They couldn't fit that in the previous versions of it. So yeah, if you've got 30 mates to hand, you can bring them all in, go swimming in the ocean, see what you can find under there. It looks okay, but I don't really get there's much else to do apart from just find the fish and document them. But if you're happy with that, you can probably just chill out in there for hours.
Yeah, the puns are coming thick and fast. Danka says, I don't have much confidence in this one, so I think he's going to get 6-point fit. 6. Maybe it lacks a bit of depth. Malik says 8. Fishing for more puns, indeed. Oh, my life. Keep them coming, folks. Keep them coming. And get your scores in now, folks, if you want to. JB, what do you reckon to this one?
I really liked it. I like the kind of coziness. My issue being is while watching the trailer, some of the fish weren't swimming. They were just kind of forward. So I'm worried that there will be like kind of a lack of graphics to it, or a kind of like realism to it. But I like the idea of like jumping in a party, although because it is Nintendo, having like 30 friends, are you going to all be on Discord? Because Nintendo doesn't really pair up well with communication of 30 friends. Or am I just going to be sitting there alone with no one to talk to, looking through fish? And yeah, I did a quick calculations, and there's 30 people. There's 500 fish, so there's 16 fish per person.
Okay. Oh dear. There you go. NX. I got your name right. NX Cold Lodge. I don't Cola or Cola J. NX Cola J. I'm sorry, I'm just absolutely your name. Thank you so much for the follow. They said there's a new sheriff in town. Well, I don't know.
It's Nikolai.
Nikolai. Oh my God, I so messed that up. Nikolai, thank you. Thank you. Forgive me. I'm terrible with that. But there you go. All right. So, what scores we got? We've got quite a few here. I'm going to go through them again. Let's have a look. We've got Dank is saying, as I said, a 6.5. Manic is saying 8. Gozzo agrees with Dank at 6.5. Ben is saying a 7. Flame is saying an 8. So, Dave, I'll start with you this time. Chat, get your scores in. If you get it right, you will get a shout out. What do you reckon?
6.
Go for 6. Okay. Sophie says, I like this, honestly. My kind of thing. Kylie says an 8, like an octopus. Triangle Face says a 7. Hopefully, it's not a bait on the Switch. Kylie already did that joke, Dave. You're so far behind. Look, here's the proof. You're stealing people's jokes. Come on. Try harder. JB, what do you reckon?
First, I want to say these puns are getting thin.
Hey!
I honestly, I feel really bad doing this. A 5.
Oh, okay. A 5. All right. 5 out of 10. Jenny says a 6.5. Dave's like, no! I could see this being a Marmite game, but might get an 8. I think it needs a crab that can switch out what it's shouting. Well, that was one of last week's games, wasn't it? There you go. On the Switch, I said, someone ban JB. No, we're not banning JB.
I'll leave. All right.
Okay, folks. All right. This is your last chance. Get your scores in chat. And this is Endless Ocean Luminous, which came out last Thursday on Nintendo Switch. If there's no more scores, I can tell you this hasn't scored as well as our last 2 games, but people did get this right because, Dave said a 7.5. Unfortunately, you're wrong because it got a 6.5. So Jenny is 3 for 3.
Fair play to her.
She's on fire. She's doing really well. So Jenny Holzer and Gozzo's like, yes, got my first one right. Let's go. Good on you, Gozzo.
Jenny's making that Google work.
Yes, do it. Oh my lord, says Jenny. Oh my lord. Well, we'll see if you can get all 8 right, Jenny. Let's see.
The pressure's on there.
Yeah, there you go. Well done to everyone who got it right. The shout outs are going out right now. Let's move on to our next game. Something a bit different again. Again, came out on Thursday last week, but this time only on PC. And this one is called, if I can bring it up, the trailer, is called Undead Inc. Let's have a look at this one.
Peggy 16.
Welcome to Enswell Medical. Caution, extraction initiated. Self-destruct countdown started. All staff evacuate immediately.
There you go, folks. That is Undead Inc. And Jesse, to answer your question, I played a similar kind of game 2 years ago on PlayStation, but it wasn't to do with zombies. It was for planning for a nuclear bomb, and it was called Mr. Prepper. If anyone remembers that, where you build a bunker and do stuff. So that's kind of got that vibe, but obviously there's zombies. But rather than with Mr. Prepper, you dig down to build your bunker, this looks like you build up. So Dave, tell us. Oh, yeah. And Sophie says it reminds me of Fallout Shelter. There's a good shout as well. Yes, it's got that vibe. Dave, tell us a bit more about it, please.
Yes, this is a roguelike management sim. So it's roguelike in that, each run you do, things are going to play out differently. But when you're in the run, you were just sort of building up your pharmaceutical business. It's kind of a pitch that you're going to be a bit like the Umbrella Corps from like Resident Evil, from what I can gather. You've got your parts, the lab doing good work, all the good stuff. But then to make money, you need to do some of the bad stuff as well. Right. Like market research. So you're going to be building other sections of the lab that are going to, building your bioweapons and your guns and stuff to sell off to make more money. And you got to try and keep everything running smoothly in the lab. Bribe the police and politicians to keep their prying eyes away. Keep an eye on your staff members. Make sure they're not going to rat you out. It's got all that sort of stuff to it. And then as is usually the case with these sorts of games, things are going to go wrong at some point, and it's then you got to try and extract and get away with as much information and money as you can before you start your next run, and rinse and repeat. It looks okay. Graphics wise, it's nothing remarkable to look at. As people have said, it just give you the sort of vibe of Fallout Shelter, really, looks wise. But it looks like it might be all right for a bit of a blast. I can't say it's one that I would rush out to play, but it's still those ones that if it pops up on like Game Pass or somewhere, I'd probably have a look at it on there.
Yeah. Okay. Ben says it's probably going to get a 7. Dan says not a fan. Feels like this is going to be a 6.5 again. So see, JB, your thoughts on this one?
I feel like if it was on mobile, it's probably one of those ones I'd play for a couple of weeks and then go, okay, I'm done now, because it's very. I feel like it's going to get very similar. Dan, you mentioned. Oh, sorry, Dave, you mentioned it was like a roguelike. If it has like the challenge of you build a little area. It gets demolished by the zombies, you get overpowered, you flee, and then the next area you then build up, and there's more monsters and there's bigger ones and there's more challenges, and I like that kind of thing. But then again, I feel like the kind of play life isn't kind of that long, maybe a couple of hours, maybe 10 hours, and then you're a bit like, okay, what do I do here? Because I feel like most of those games, it gets to a point where your civilization gets so built up and functional that you just survive.
Yeah.
And then it's what, you then build a new planet, or what's kind of the next step after that? So yeah, I do feel like it's going to be a very similar, it sounds bad, but copy and paste type of game. So yeah, I'd probably also give it, not the best.
Okay. All right. Sophie says, does anyone know if it's on mobile or coming to mobile? At the moment, it's just on PC, but I could see this being a mobile game. I could quite see this being a mobile game if it was that. iQuell says, looks a bit janky in the trailer. Not really my game either. I'm going for a 5.5. Sophie says, shame. I think Sophie would play this if it was on mobile. So, folks, get your scores in chat. If you just joined us, we don't review the games. We get you to guess the scores, and it's an average score from the internet, sourced from lots of different sites, squished into an average. And if you get it right, we'll give you a shout out for your channel. Dave Johnson reckons it's going to be a 6. JB, I'll start with you this time. What do you reckon this one's got?
It won't be as harsh as last time. Yeah, I'll probably, it's not much better, but probably about a 6, I think.
Okay, going for a 6, same as Mr. Johnson. Manic says a 7. Dave, what say you?
I'll go for a 6.5.
6.5. Okay. Last chance, folks. Get your scores in. Flame is also saying a 6 as well. Kylie is saying a 7. So all kind of, most of us around there. Jenny's saying a 7 as well. This is Undead Inc, which came out last Thursday on PC. Matt says a juicy 7. There you go. Says JB copied me. Punish him. Behave you. Should know better, Mr. Johnson. No better. You'll find that they're a weird lot, but I love them. Yeah, they're a weird lot, but I love them. There you go. Okay, folks, if there are no more guesses, I can tell you that there's this weird pattern happening, because the first 2 games were both 8s, and the second 2 games are both 6.5, weirdly. So there you go. So, Dave, congratulations. You got it right. JB, that far away from it, just that far.
Hey, I always get told I'm that far away from it. It's a habit of mine, so.
Yes.
Yeah,
right.
I expected it to be that middle ground type of game, so not surprised by the score.
There you go. Exclamation Dave, like Dan Games Hanker's just done. Exclamation Dave, show your appreciation to Dave, because he doesn't have a channel, so we have to give him a shout out in another way. Congratulations to everyone else who got it right. Jenny's first one she got wrong. She was close. She went for a 7, but she's still in the lead. So Jenny's doing really well. So there you go. Congratulations to everyone else who got it right. I think there's loads of people that got it. Gozzo, Danka, well done, all you wonderful lot. And do give them follows, please. Dave, how do you want your shout out, as you are not a streamer or content?
Let's get you doing a bit of a spinning on your chair, mate.
Okay, so we gotta do something special for Dave. So we're gonna do this. You ready, folks?
Go for it.
Dave!
Very nice.
Thank you. There you go. If he gets another one right, we'll do something else. Let's roll on to our second bit of news. Now, this is the first of 2 bits of Bethesda news tonight, because there was a couple of pieces of news about Starfield. One which is quite, I think it's quite funny. That there is a new Starfield update, or first kind of big update, that is landing on May the 15th. So literally landing with us in the next less than 7 days or so. Which some people have said, really? Should have really been there in launch. It's basically they're stating that you can now get detailed maps. They're adding detailed maps to the game so that you don't get lost in the game. They're also, you can decorate your interior of your ship, which is something that's brand new that they're adding. And they've added new difficulty levels to the game. This has all come back from feedback that people said, blah, 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 you need this, but it seems a bit thing that it came out in September and only getting this now. However, the first proper DLC for Starfield has been stated for a September release. Now, we don't know exactly what it's going to entail, but the first proper story DLC has been announced, and it will be coming out for Starfield September. Now, Starfield polarized a lot of people. I wasn't a fan. I know Sophie was a fan of the game in chat, and there's a few other people that were. I didn't care for it. But at least you haven't had to wait like 3 years for like fucking Cyberpunk to get a DLC. So least you've only got to wait. They'll probably bring it out on the first year anniversary. I think that would make sense to me. But there you go. So let's see. JB, Starfield, yes or no?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I for the time I could play, it was quite PC taxing. So if you didn't have quite a high end PC, it kind of struggled a little bit. But what I did enjoy, I enjoyed the graphics. I enjoyed the bit of story I got. Once you were in a building, you were looking around, was great. But the detail map is just going to show me I'm having to walk 10 minutes to the next location.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to have to travel through space and spend 15 minutes trying to find out what world I want to go to, or do I go to this one? Do I stop? I like the expanse of it, but yeah, there was too much expanse. There wasn't enough kind of guidance, I think. So I think, the interior should have probably been out on launch. If I can customize the outside of my ship, let me customize the inside. It correlates so well. And the map, an update to a map, well done. But beyond that, doesn't really give anything for me.
Yeah. All right, Dave, any thoughts on this?
No, not a huge amount. I mean, it's a fairly tame update, you could say. I mean, the new maps do look nice, but apart from that, the rest of the stuff's just okay. Doesn't change the game to any great degree. Just gives you a few little options to play around with. I'll wait and see what they can change when they comes to the proper DLC.
Yeah,
see if they make much alterations there. But I was kind of the same. Some of the main quest stuff was quite fun, but just exploring the planets was just dull. So even when they do add vehicles in, which I did show a little snippet of in the recent trailer, the vehicles will just get you to the boring stuff quicker. What's the point? I might as well just fast travel to my ship when I'm done.
I think them adding a difficulty, like them adding a difficulty, I'll just get stronger weapons, and then what? The game will be exactly the same.
Yeah.
So yes, I like a challenge, but when make things kind of happen while you're wandering around and not just kind of in those little towns or little kind of locations, hotspots.
Yeah, it's a funny one. I'm not that fussed either way. It just seems funny that they decided to add stuff that they should have added about 6 months ago, but hey ho. But it's one of them. We will talk more Starfield a little bit later on, because Todd Howard actually spoke out on a podcast about the things that he wished it had done and what she hadn't. So we'll talk about that in our next news story. But before we do that, we're halfway through the show, which means it is time for 100 games to play before you die. Becca, hello. How are you? Good to see you. Becca says, is his favourite food chicken nuggets, hence the name?
Yeah, let's say that.
Okay. We'll leave it there. Okay. We went out to one of those gadget shops and bought one of those cheap posters, which has allegedly 100 games that you should play before you die. Recently, we've had such wonders as Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, Tomb Raider, Time Crisis 2, Donkey Kong Country 2, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, The Last of Us, Super Smash Bros. Melee, House of the Dead 2, Uncharted 2, and Space Invaders. We have literally only got 6 more of these to go until we have literally nearly filled out the whole of this. Now, neither my guest or Dave or chat knows what this week's installment is. All we want to know from chat is yes or no, whether you've played this one. Now, I can say right off the bat, I have never played this. I think this is going to be an interesting one, whether chat can do this. I love that this poster is failing. Yeah, it's literally falling apart. Like the post. And if you look at the back of it, it's absolutely fucking ruined. But there you go. That's how long we've been doing this. 100 episodes of this shite. So let's have a look at tonight's trailer for 100 games to play before you die. Here we go.
Sega.
This week's installment for 100 games you should play before you die, allegedly, is Total War Shogun 2. I've never played a Total War game in my life. We've got Gozzo, who's played it. And then Big GSC says, I only played the Rome one, so unfortunately that doesn't count. Is it bad I don't even know what Dynasty Warriors is? Yeah, don't worry. If you haven't played Total War, you haven't played Dynasty Warriors, you're not known. Is war ever anything but total? Has anyone ever heard of partial war? There you go. There's a lot of people said never played it. Some twat I dated played it. There you go. I guess that kind of counts as a vote. Dave, I'll start with you. Have you ever played this?
Not this particular one. I've only ever played Rome Total War, which I'd probably pick over this because it's going to be a personal choice. You had, like certain time periods. I prefer the Roman time periods to the Shogun one. So I've only ever played Rome, and I played Empire Total War, which is American Civil War, but no, never the Shogun ones.
Okay, JB.
Yeah, no. I played Total War, the Rome one again. But when that kind of game was popping off, I was actually playing a Lord of the Rings similar version one called Lord of the Rings Battle of Middle Earth 2, which was iconic at the time for me at least. Which gave me kind of the Total War, but something I enjoyed, which was Lord of the Rings.
The majority of chat is saying no. So a lot of people are saying no on this. So unfortunately, it stays unscratched. We've only got one that hasn't been scratched from a couple of weeks, well, quite a few weeks back. And God help me if we do this, because this only came out in another country, weirdly. This was Quest 64 on the N64. Did you ever? No.
No, I don't even know what that is.
Okay, well, all I'm going to say is tune in next week for another thrilling installment of this shit. There we go.
So I did think when I saw it. Sorry, when I saw it, I did think, oh, it's Dynasty Warriors. Like, of course it is.
That's a funny thing. It was. Most of the chat would have said yes, but then it was that. Sophie says, I saw the majority being yes. Don't lie. Don't lie. I know you want to get it scratched off, but no. So there you go. We'll do more next week. And next week's one, I could see why it's on there, but it's not the one I picked from that series. So it might be, I think people will have played it though, but we'll see. So if you want to find out what it is, you have to tune into next week's show. Talking of retro games and things, oh my God, what a terrible link. If you haven't heard, we're stupid enough to be putting on a gaming convention at Europe's largest arcade called Arcade Club in Bury. And it's called Timeless. And if you haven't got a clue what it is, have a look at this trailer. There you go, folks. Timeless is now 99 days away. Can you believe that? It's nuts. 99 days until our event. And as always, on a Monday, we announce something new. And this week, we announced for Timeless our third person that is going to be on our Gaming Legends panel. We've already got Ross Tregenza, who is known for composing music for such games as the Crysis games, Gears of War, Sonic Team Racing, Time Splitters, as well as Cyberpunk, Deathloop, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Helldivers 2. And we've got Graham Norgate, who is known for doing games on music on Commodore 64, Amiga, then went on to N64 and obviously did the iconic music for GoldenEye, and has most recently worked on Dead Island 2. And like yesterday, we announced a lead designer and lead artist in Alex Trowers, who used to work for Bullfrog and EA. He's a wonderful, wonderful guy. I got to interview him back in February at the Debug event. And he has worked on such games as Theme Park, High Octane, Magic Carpet, the Dungeon Keeper games, Syndicate, Populous, Dark Messiah, Judge Dredd, Harry Potter and Half-Blood Prince, and most recently, a game that I love, Gang Beasts. So Alex will be joining. He will be the third of our 5 content creators at the event. If you don't know what this event is a 12-hour extravaganza of arcade machines, consoles, and games across 4 floors in Europe's largest arcade, all free to play, as well as 2 live stages. One stage with tons of competitions, such as the official Just Dance 2024 competition, where we've got MZ Lee, who is an Ubisoft content creator, who was on this very show, judging that, as well as our friends from Bullion doing the Bullion competition. We have a ton of other competitions to announce for that show. And then we've got our main stage where we have got our content creator panel, where we have announced 5 of our 6 content creators, and we'll be announcing a very special guest host for that panel as well next week. And we've got the wonderful Melon Gamers talking about if you want to actually do content creation as a profession, and also diversity in games. We've also got exhibitors such as Kid Heart Collectibles, Light Gun Gaming. We've got Gambit Gaming with all their wonderful clothing. We've got Miss Frog with her jewelry and her wonderful D&D dice. And we've got Sega Mags and Bitmap books there. So there is a ton of stuff that you can buy, as well as a indie gaming area, courtesy of Debug Magazine, and a tabletop gaming area, courtesy of Geek Retreat Berry. Here's some photos. We've got more Q&A panels to announce. We have got Ashens, the legendary Twitch streamer, YouTuber, and actor and comedian, doing a keynote speech. We have got another keynote speech also to unveil very soon, which I'm hoping we get confirmed this week. And Slopes, DJ Slopes, is back, but he's doing his legendary gaming quiz that we did at EGX a couple of years ago. So all this and more, plus you can get your merch with our friends at the Gamer Guide, and raising money for a wonderful charity everyone can. Get your tickets now, folks. All that I've just mentioned, you can get for a ticket for 20 quid, which will get you in at 11 a.m. till 10 p.m. We've also got evening entertainment to be announced as well once the main stage is closed. And you can get all that for £20. And then there's wonderful content creators in the chat right now, like the lovely Ellie, who was our guest on the show, who are offering discounts for 15% off all tickets. If you want a bit of a more luxurious experience, we have got our VIP ticket for 50 quid, which gets you in 1 hour earlier to the venue at 10 a.m. Gets you a free lunch voucher, so you can get nachos, burgers, hot dogs, pizza, whatever you want on us. Gets you a goodie bag. Last year's goodie bag had over 50 quid's worth of free stuff in it alone. So there's going to be a load of stuff that we'll be announcing for the goodie bag. Plus, you get a little bit of merch and a lanyard. And you get 10% off all our other merch, so you can actually order it, get a discount, and collect it on the day of the event. And if you want to take part in all the gaming challenges and competitions that we will be announcing over the next couple of weeks, you actually stick your lanyard up in the air and you get to be on stage before anyone else, being a VIP. Family ticket, 2 adults, 2 kids, as long as they're aged between 5 and 17, is 50 quid. You save a tenner. Any kids under 5 go free because it is a family-friendly event. And if you are a lone parent, you don't have to buy a family ticket. You can get a child's ticket for a tenner, saving you 20 quid. So you can get discounts off all of those. So there you go. So get your tickets now for Timeless Gaming Convention. It is going to probably be the best gaming event of the summer, hands down. And I say that because I'm biased because I run the fucking thing. So there you go. We've got loads more to announce, and there will be another announcement on Monday. We're unveiling our very special guest host for our content creator panel. Hopefully you won't be disappointed because they are a very big YouTuber and Twitch streamer. That's all I'm going to say. So Timeless, it's never game over. Get your tickets now. Thank you very much. Here ended the plugginess. There you go. So if you haven't got your tickets, get them now. Right, we're going to move on to some more games. I need a drink after talking all about that so I can have a little break. Let's go. Next week's is going to be amazing. See, Jesse knows what the announcement is because we've been setting it up on the website. So it's going to be good. Is there going to be... Oh, yeah, I missed some of the thing. Is there going to be bars so I can drink? Becca, there is a bar on the first floor, the second floor, and the third floor, right? You have a drink. The Content Creator Lounge has their own private bar. We've sorted that out as well.
Ooh.
And they have their own private toilets as well. Fancy. So there you go. So Yeah, so they get their own bar, but there is a bar on the second, third, and fourth. First, second, and third floor, and there's cakes. You can get soft drinks, crisp snacks on all the floors, and on the top floor in the restaurant, all the food is very reasonably priced. This is probably one of the best venues to get food and drink because a pint of lager will not cost you £8.50. It will probably cost you £2.50, £3.50, and a can of Coke is £1, not fucking £4. So we don't take a piss with the prices. We try to keep everything fair to everyone. You can get a fucking big cheeseburger for £3.50. Bargain. So there you go. Moving on. And yes, there are toilets, disabled access, all that Jenny was asking for, all that, and a free car park as well. You don't have to pay 20 quid for fucking parking. Bargain. There you go. I mean, some kinds of Coke I like at 75 pence. All right, Manic, we can't cater for everyone. We're trying. I'm trying. All right. The pizza was amazing last year. The pizza's really good. The food is really good. So there you go. Anyway, enough of pluggity plug. Buy your tickets for Timeless Plug. Let's move on to our next game, which is Foundry. Now, this landed on early access on Thursday on PC. So let's have a look at this.
Okay, operator. As part of the Foundry initiative, you have been stationed here to build a factory. Wait, what is that?
We'll never know what it is.
Fuck my life. I'll try and get this working. Is this it? It is running at fine.
Are you still on dial-up over there?
Clearly.
You got to pedal a little bit faster, mate. Get going.
Do you know what? Oh, hello. I'm going to refresh it. This might go horribly wrong. We'll probably get an advert. Let's see. Let's just mute it for a second. Do you know what? I preloaded it as well. Oh, here we go.
Initiative. You have been stationed here to build a factory. Wait, what is
Oh, fuck you.
that?
Oh, no.
Look at this little guy. I bet he was sent here with instructions. Maybe I should translate. To succeed with our mission, we will need to extract resources, craft machinery, and set up automated production lines. Of quality
Yeah, it don't like this.
and
Sorry.
quantity.
It fucking died. We'll leave it there. I wonder if I can run it in 360. Oh, Christ, it's trying to run in 360. So there you go. That explains everything. Well, that's going to run.
Explore the planet
Nah, it's still lagging.
and expand the factory.
Do you know what? We'll come back to it. We'll show the trailer later. We'll get a synopsis, but we'll just come back to it later. Sometimes when we get to the end of the show, it'll play. So we'll try and come back to it later. So my apologies. It's one of those nights we've had weeks and weeks and weeks with no technical problems, and tonight the internet just shat the bed. So Dave, for those that saw that whole 5 seconds of gameplay, tell us what it is.
It's basically Minecraft, but with factories, you could say. You know, it's just similar type of world to what you sort of see in Minecraft. You know, you'll go through it, trying to find all the various resources you need, but then you'll just use those to build a factory and set up all the sort of automation, the conveyor belts and stuff to just generally move the bits around and make new stuff. I mean, it looks okay. I can't say I really ever get into these sorts of games myself. I mean, Minecraft never appealed to me, so I can't say I'd jump into this one. But if you like Minecraft and you want to you want to do delve into this with a bit of automation, bring your friends in to help you as well. Build these massive worlds expanded like factories.
Yeah.
Then you can probably just piss away hours and hours just like putting the whole thing together. Sorting out all the automation, making sure everything flows properly as it should do. Doesn't bottleneck anywhere. I can see you could get some satisfaction by getting all that running nice and smoothly.
Yeah,
say it's not something I would want to spend that much time trying to do it.
It's not.
I would flick it on for like an hour or something for a bit of a play, but I could never see myself spending like hundreds of hours in it, like some people might.
I can see people who love Minecraft and things would probably love this. I'm going to try and do something clever here. I think I've managed to get it working. So what I'm going to do is, while JB and everyone else is mentioning, I'm just going to play this in the background with no sound. But I'm just going to make sure this runs. But JB, your thoughts on this one?
This is just, there's a game that's very similar. Someone's mentioned it anyway. It's like Satisfactory, where you just build machines. I like this concept because it has a kind of a story to it, and it's giving you direction. But for the most part, it's satisfactory with a bit of lore, maybe. The little robot at the very beginning reminds me of a indie game called Bipeds. There's a little guy, and I was a bit spotted that. But yeah, beyond that, I mean, you know, I'm a fan of Minecraft, but then it's one of the ones that comes every 3 years, and I'm like, oh yeah, 3 weeks of Minecraft, and I'm like, oh, I'm done now. And I feel like this game is probably gonna give similar vibes. It's a good couple of hours of you and your friends making an industry that works, and then like some buildings that work, and then what I guess is again.
Yeah, I think obviously with early access, there's probably no real story thing with this at the moment, so I'm guessing that's something that they might add in at some other point.
It doesn't really need a story though, does it? It's just a case of get the resources and build.
Yeah, maybe not a story as such, but I feel like the little robot must give you some direction to be like, oh, you know, I don't know, oh, my machine isn't working. Have you tried finding this material, which is found in this biome? And then you're like, okay, cool, that's maybe they're more of an objective kind of based. He's like the foreman of the of the building.
Yeah. I mean, it looks all right, but it's not something I would play. I don't think I would ever really want to try that. But there you go. I managed to get the trailer working. But it's out now on early access. So that's Foundry. Here you go.
I do feel like people that enjoy the game would definitely invest many hours into it.
I think they'd sink tons and tons of hours.
Yeah. Or people will find a way. There's quite a few YouTubers that play Satisfactory, and their goal is, can I break it? Can I make it so efficient that it makes too much ore or something and break? So I feel like that may be one of the appeals of the game, maybe.
We'll see. We'll see. Okay. Not my vibe though, not gonna lie. Bundy, hello. I know he's on a work break, so he's literally only watching for 5 minutes. Hope you had a good birthday yesterday. I'm just gonna say hello. And Manic says, is it on Game Pass? No, mate, it's only on PC at the moment, and it's still in early access, so we haven't even got the finished game yet. But I could see this being something that lands on Game Pass once it finally comes out, so it's not actually out yet. Folks, get your scores in. Danka says, I've got my full attention. Okay. Get your scores in now. You're welcome, Bundy. I'm going to go with Dave's score, not Bucket's Dave. Right, okay. So Bundy's coming in and saying an 8 for this one. Dave, I'll start with you. What do you reckon this got?
I'll try a 7.5.
7.5. Okay, Gozzo is going with an 8 as well. JB, what do you reckon?
I was going to go for a 7.5 as well, but I don't want to copy everybody, so let's go 7.
Going for a 7. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okie dokie. Any more scores, folks? This is Foundry, which came out last Thursday on early access for PC. Jenny's going for an 8.5. iQuail is going for an 8. Flame is going for a 7. Manic, I'm not sure. What was the disco message you sent me? Disco message? Or disco? Do you mean Discord message? If you sent me a Discord message, I did reply. I think. I'll check after the show. I think I did anyway. I had a load. I've not been on Discord hardly all day today. So chances are I've replied to everything. Any more for any more? No. Sorry, JB. What was your score? Sorry?
7.
7. Okay. All right. Cool. Thank you. All right. If there's no more, we'll call it on this one and we'll move straight along. I can tell you for an early access game, this, ladies and gentlemen, got, it seems to be a common theme for our show this week.
Oh my God.
An 8 out of 10.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. That surprised me. Disco messages are the best. So, iQuail, congratulations. You got it right. Kylie's like, wow. Danka says, I can see why. Gozzo, congratulations. You got 3 right now. Danka, you got it right as well. So we're catching up with Jenny's score now. This could be Ben, well done. You got it as well. So there's quite a few people that got this one right. Bondi, well done. Got one right as well while you're popping in on your work break. Greatly appreciated. There you go. Congratulations all. Well done. Thank you for doing that. Let's move on to another one. This also came out. This is the last one that came out on Thursday, folks. Ones that came out on Thursday. This is sort of a kind of a revamped version of a game. This is out on PS4, 5, Xbox Series X, S1, Switch, and PC. And God help me, I hope the trailer works for this one. But this is called Armed and Gelatinous, the Couch Edition. Let's have a look at the trailer.
Today marks a new epoch of civilization.
The warfare which defined our collective history is now in the past.
The weapons with which they were fought are no longer needed. With the push of this button, let us release them into the universe, where they can do no harm. Dominating! Triple kill! Touchdown!
There you go, folks. Armed and Gelatinous, the Couch Edition, which is literally on everything on PS4, 5, Xbox Series X, S1, Switch, and PC as of last Thursday. Dave, talk us about this. And hello, Professor Stork, who's in chat. Hello.
Yeah, this was originally an arcade game. So they decided to bring it to home consoles now as the Couch Edition, which is set up for local co-op play. So I don't believe it's got any online multiplayer. It's just, get 3 of the mates round and just play a load of party games, try and kill each other with various weapons, take part in other little sports-based mini games as well, like soccer and hockey, stuff like that. It looks like it'd be perfectly good fun. You can get a few mates round. I can't imagine you'd really bother with it if it was just you on your own. Wouldn't really be much to it single player wise, I'm sure. But yeah, if you get a few mates round, probably crack a few beers open, it could be quite good fun. It looks okay.
Yeah. It looks fun, as you say, but if you ain't got any friends like me and a total fucking loner, you're not going to play.
You ain't going to get much out of it.
No, especially if it's not online play. But JB, your thoughts?
It reminds me of just an IO, was it the IO games, like Sliver IO, and it's just giving that sort of vibe. I personally would not enjoy it. It's just not my type of game. I think it's just a little bit too chaotic, and I'm not a fan of those type of games, I don't think.
Okay, that's fair. That is fair. All right, what do we think this scored, folks? Get your scores in the chat, and you can get yourselves a shout out, and we will see, because we're getting very close to seeing who might actually be our champion for this week. So we'll see. So, Dave, no, actually, JB, I'll start with you. What do you reckon this one got?
I'm really torn because I want to give it a lot lower than I think it will get.
Well, say what you think you would give it, and then I'll let you give a score that you
personally, I'd probably give it like a 4. But I feel like it's probably going to do. I think it's going to do quite well.
Okay,
I'm going to go quite high and say 8.5.
Okay, 8.5. All right. Okay. Danka is going in with a 7. Chicken Nuggs, not even for 5 minutes. Would you not enjoy it? Says Becca.
I'd probably, if you got me quite merry, I'd probably sit there being like, yeah, joke around. But then if it was online, I think I'd probably enjoy it more. When you have friends around, it just, you always then target one person. It always gets quite competitive and being like, when you get, I don't know, you've got 5 kills and you're bigger, everyone's going to go, okay, screw everyone else. We're targeting you, and then it gets a bit kind of one-sided. But so yeah, maybe for 5 minutes. Maybe for 5 minutes.
All right.
Get me a beer, and then
and then it might go up to 4.5.
Yeah. It was starting at 8 after. Well, yeah, 4.5 and up with the beers to an 8.
Yeah. There's more beers. The score progresses. Kylie says a 7.5. Jenny says a 6. Games Guru says a 7. If I haven't said hello to Games Guru, hello. I think I did, but Flame says 6.5. Booze to the multiplayer aspect. Yeah, it should have been online as well. 6.5 says Flame. Gozzo says 7. iQuell says when in doubt, 7. And Becca says I'm with Dave's score. So there you go. And Becca agrees with you as well, JB, with the thing that probably better the more you drink. So Dave, what do you reckon this is going to be?
I'm going to try a 7 for this one. Okay,
going for a 7. Folks, this is your last chance. This came out last Thursday. This is Armed and Gelatinous, the couch edition on PS4, 5, Xbox Series X, S1, Switch, and PC. And Manic is also saying whatever Dave's score is, I agree. Okay. And if there are no more scores, I'll tell you what, some of you are going to be quite chuffed that you actually did stick with Dave's score because this got a 7 out of 10. So well done. Well done, Becca and Manic, for jumping on the Dave train. There you go. That doesn't sound wrong whatsoever, does it? So congratulations to anyone else who said 7. iQuail, well done. Gozzo, well done. Gozzo's on a roll now. Games Guru, well done. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, well done. Well done, everyone. Sorry, wasn't watching the clip. Was answering question. Bondi, that's absolutely fine. There you go. 4 in a row. Yes, Gozzo. Danka says, I believe that's 5 out of 6 so far. So you're doing all right. You're doing all right. You've now surpassed Jenny's score. So you guys are in the lead. There we go. Well done to everyone who got it right. Dave, how would you like your shout out?
I'll tell you what, you can go behind your chair and jump up, mate. So your knees are holding up.
Watch my knees. I bet my knees ain't holding up. I'll tell you. Let's press. Watch him crack. Because I'm an old bloke. Oh, you bastard! It didn't.
Ouch.
I don't know if you heard that.
You can stay down there if it's easier, mate.
All right, okay, yeah. Coming up on next week's show, we've got Right, okay. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Dave!
Very nice.
There we go. Right. On with the news. So there'll be more Starfield news, and here it is. Mr. Bethesda himself, Mr. Todd Howard, was on a podcast earlier, back end of last week, and he wanted to address a few things. Oh, Jesse says, while you're down there, you're a bit slow, Jesse. I'm not getting back. You have to tell me what it is. If you get to number 1 right, then I'll do it again. And he kind of dealt with people's complaints on Starfield and also things that people did like. And he did say that while he was very happy that when the game came out, it was quite stable, the stability of the game was great, which, to be fair, it was. It wasn't like hard crashing and doing crazy things. And he was kind of disappointed with the overall reception. He said, yes, there were some people out there that loved, did give it like 9s, but obviously it kind of got very sort of 6s and 7s realistically. I mean, I think it got a 7 overall on this show, on the average score. And he kind of said they tried something different, and people's feedback was, we wanted a Elder Scrolls in space. We wanted a Fallout in space, which they thought they were kind of delivering, but realized that when you look at it, it's not really that kind of game because you are kind of limited to, the way they pitched it was you could go to thousands of planets, but realistically, it's thousands of empty planets. And really, you are guided by where you kind of go. And when you do go to off map, it's not that interesting. Whereas other games such as Fallout, Elder Scrolls X actually is, because you can discover new things. And I said they've kind of learned from that. And they probably won't go down this route again. But it was the first time that they were in a space game, and that's what they wanted to do. So he's kind of admitted that they tried it. It wasn't a failure, but it wasn't the success that they were hoping it to be. Obviously, we also talked about the fact that the new DLC is going to come out in September as well. The question is, Fallout was such a big success, and then they messed with that formula with Fallout 76. Now, bearing in mind that has become a lot better than it was on release, but a lot of people were disappointed. Do you think Starfield is one that's had a better reception than, say, Fallout 76? But if they do keep working on it, in a couple of years' time, it could actually be a better game than what it was on release. Do you think it could be that kind of game? Or do you think they're going to get the DLCs out and go, now we're working on the next Elder Scrolls and we're working on the next Fallout?
I think they'll move on. I don't think they've got that massive a team. So unless like Microsoft found out, more dev work to someone else to carry on while Bethesda, while Bethesda carried on like Elder Scrolls 6, then I reckon it'll probably just stop at some point. You'll get the DLC out, maybe get a few of the like gameplay changes, but I don't think it'll ever fundamentally change from what it is. They wouldn't have the time to improve like 1,000 planets to make them less dull.
I
mean, they are pretty much that is what you get if you landed on like another planet in our solar system, an empty world. They've got that pretty correct. Problem is, it isn't interesting from a gameplay perspective at all. That side of it's rubbish. If you want a good space, sort of action role-playing game, you want the previous Mass Effect games.
Yeah,
they're much better because they've got a much smaller scope. You go to a planet, land on a small portion of it that's handcrafted and well built, and it's much more fun to play than landing on these procedure-generated planets that have just got content that you start seeing over and over and over again the more you land on them. So I don't think they'll ever really improve it, and whether modders would even bother with it, I don't know, because I think there's been a few modders who said they're not interested. It's not going to have the longevity that Skyrim had or Fallout 4's got. So why spend the time trying to improve it when people probably go move away from it, go on to the next thing.
And they did say they're going to be working on the next Elder Scrolls next anyway, wasn't it? That was the plan. So
that's the next one. So I think people will be looking forward to that more, because that'll have should have a much more interesting world to explore.
I'd love them to put more effort into it, but I guess the challenge being is because it's so huge, how would they the reason Fallout does really well and kind of like the open world games do really well is because of the small interactions you have throughout playing. So you will stumble upon someone, you have a brief conversation. I guess I'm a massive fan of the book, not the movie, Ready Player One. And I love that kind of idea that you could be anyone in any world and you stumble upon things and it's continuously growing. And what would be great is if they had an option of they could upload all of the scripts that have been said in the game by characters or they have concepts for, and general public can send in their recordings so they get a piece of themselves in the game, and then they get like kind of while you're walking around, a stranger will walk by you and say this line. And you pass in like, oh my God, that's me. I'm that person. And I guess that's a way of filling out voice actors, or maybe not getting rid of them, but kind of reducing the cost there, making it accessible for everybody to be able to just pass something through, and allowing people to mod these empty worlds at the end of kind of like the map per se. Allowing these university students access to mod and giving it back to the people, I guess, it sounds really cheesy, but that kind of concept would be great, because then it's getting into that Ready Player One world. It's getting into that kind of like the future of gaming. You land on one game, and in those planets you can play different games, and you can go in and become a Minecraft character and play a little bit of Minecraft. I mean, laws around it, yes, I get, but like that kind of theme, similar kind of play styles or games in far off worlds would be pretty cool. Especially if you're flying around, you land on a planet, you're like, oh, mini golf, like it's a planet of mini golf. Perfect. Like it just makes sense. But yeah, I also don't think they'll carry it on for the people. Is that for the people?
For the people.
I don't think they'll carry it on. I think it's a game that maybe in 10 years time, when you type into AI and you go build this for me and it builds it, maybe then we'll get a game that's what we want.
It's funny. It was a game I was never hyped for until last summer when they did that presentation and unveiled it, and I was like, oh, this has intrigued me. And then I played it and I was like, it's all right. I think I did one stream of it and that was it. It wasn't anything special, so unfortunately Yeah, but you know, let's see. Stranger things have happened. As I've mentioned many a time, Cyberpunk was an absolute shit can when it came out. And then last year they brought out that amazing DLC, and it totally changed my tune on the game because the game is actually playable. So, and I loved that DLC that they brought out. It saved it. Maybe this DLC will save Starfield or get more people playing it. I don't know. Or maybe it'll just give the core people that are loving it more to do, which is good.
I think the difference between those two are like Starfield was playable to begin with. The storyline wasn't great. So you're going to have to add a lot of story to make it good. Whereas Cyberpunk, the storyline was there, but everything was there, just the game wasn't playable.
So we'll see. Anyway, we'll have more news for you. No doubt when Xbox do their showcase later this summer that's been announced, because they'll probably announce some stuff and probably show the DLC off anyway. Moving on to our last two games of the night. Now, this literally shadow dropped yesterday. No one was expecting it. The only little disappointing thing about this is that a lot of people were expecting this to actually physically come out this year. And what the devs have said is this is out in early access as of yesterday, but it does mean that we might have to wait 12 months before the game comes out. So this probably won't come out officially in 2024. The first game was on a lot of lists of Game of the Year in 2020, and the sequel has landed on early access on PC literally yesterday, and this is Hades 2. Let's have a look.
Grow stronger and complete your task. Death to Kronos.
Death to Kronos. All right, it's time. No! Back again.
Let us strike.
Heed now my will. Now!
Are you prepared for another hard lesson?
Please lead the way.
Nothing clears the mind like a refreshing soak. Care to accompany me?
Why not?
You'll flourish here. Be free.
So what's up?
I call upon the moon and draw you down.
I vow to shine for you.
Don't be afraid. Eternity. Don't forget all that the Titan took from you.
The family has your back, surprised as they are about this.
Which way? I can do this.
You have many battles yet to come. I would like to see you try.
There you go. That is Hades Early Access, which is on PC. Now, as we said, the original Hades game was in a lot of lists of 2020 Game of the Year. Will this, I know this isn't the finished product, but will this beat the dizzy heights of that first one? Dave, tell us a little bit more, because yes, this is a roguelike game and blah, blah, blah. And as Jesse said earlier in the chat, I was sick to death, but I loved Hades. It's one of the few ones that I really, really, really adored because it was so well done. When you do a roguelike well, that's what Hades was. So tell us a little bit more about this one and the sequel.
Yeah, from the sounds of what I've been reading, this one is off to a very good start. So it kind of sounds like it is like, just Hades sort of refined, just general improvements to the the way that it played originally, but still keeping that roguelike gameplay that it was famous for. You're playing as a different character in this one. You're playing as Melano, who's the sister of Zagreus in the first game. In this one, you're trying to defeat Kronos, the god of time. So you'll be doing pretty much the same stuff as you were in the first game, going through various zones, trying to defeat the monsters and trying to get to Kronos and take him out. And you'll be getting the same sorts of upgrades. It's got the same boon system by the look of it. The gods, if you do quests, then they'll give you various boons. But then I think they've changed up some of the upgrade trees, how some of that works. So, it has still got enough stuff to make it feel different enough for the first one. And the character of Mel as well, I think, plays differently because she's meant to be a bit more of a witch, so you got more spell casting. So your arsenal in this one compared to just general weaponry that I think was the main focus of the first one. But from what I've been reading, it's in a pretty decent state for an early access game. There's a good amount of stuff there to play. It isn't a complete game, so the story will just stop at a certain point. You're going to have to wait for the major updates and the proper 1.0 release. But if you do play through and get to that sort of current end point, there is like an end game mode that you can play. You just keep going, keeps challenging you. So there's enough stuff there for you to do for the current asking price. I don't think there's a huge amount at the minute. I think for anyone who liked the first Hades, there's no reason why you wouldn't like this one by the look of it.
Yeah, I like the look of it. I'd give this a go, but I'd probably wait until the finished one comes out. And
I'd do the same.
Yeah, I think I played the first one because it was on Game Pass, so I think I played it on that and loved it. JB, fan of Hades?
Yeah, I played Hades. I feel like it was the trend, wasn't it? Everybody jumped on the hype. Everyone then also enjoyed it, despite not think like I'm not a roguelike type of person. Repetitiveness, I've ADHD. I'm like, I'm done. Like, give me once. I've seen it. I've played it. Whereas this kind of gave me a bit of the challenge of going through. I liked the different weapon system. As Dave was saying earlier, the kind of concept before was a lot around the weapons, which I thoroughly enjoyed. But then you find a weapon, you continue with that one weapon until you beat the game. It took me way too long to beat Hades. I did beat him, so I can say I completed it technically. But supposedly there was like you beat it 10 times and then you officially beat the game, and then there's other story and lore to it. So I like the game. I probably, if it's on Game Pass, I'll definitely give it a go. Just because I know the hype will be there. I know that it'll be a talking point amongst a lot of my friends because they like rogue games. So I need the cool kid and be in the loop.
Okay. All right. Let's see how it did. Folks, get your scores in now in the chat. A lot of people saying 9s. Kylie said an 8. Becca, good night. Thank you for being here. Have a good night's sleep. But a lot of people said Manic saying a 7. Did change. Start with 8. Boba, how you doing? 727. I can't accept that as a score. But there you go. How are you, mate? Good to see you. Let's start with Dave first on this one. What do you reckon for Hades 2 early access?
I'm going to go for a 9.
Going for a 9. Okay. Flame says an 8. JB?
I'm going to be the highest one, I think, and do a 9.5.
Okay, 9.5. All right, we'll see. Any more, folks? Last chance. Hades 2 early access, which landed yesterday. Nobody realised it was happening. Out on PC. Jenny, woo! Jenny, go for a 10.
Jenny needs to be the top.
Yeah, I am. We've only ever had 3 or 4 10s in 3 years on this show, ever. But there you go. Manic says, oh, okay, 9. Manic changed his mind. Bobby says 7.5. Okay. All right. Let's go for it. I can tell you this got a lot of people got this one right. 9 out of 10. And for an early access game, that's fantastic. So let's just hope they don't do anything to make that score lower. If anything, it might improve. There you go. Well done, Gozzo. Well done, everyone. Dave, well done. Another shout out. How do you want it?
You can do your walk on from the side this time.
Oh, sweet. Okay. All right. I'll be back in a minute. Are you ready?
Oh, indeed.
Go on then. Dave!
Very nice.
It's the fact that I actually do a full walk. There's like quite a distance from there to there. So, you know, that build-up is probably
a bit of exercise for you.
Yeah, but the build-up's probably just not worth it. But there you go. Well done to everyone. How you doing? Adam, how you doing? Good to see you. Welcome on in. How's it going? Careful on the knees. It's all right. I'm not bending over. That's what she said. So moving on to our last game of the night, folks. Bit ironic, it's the last game of the night. This came out today on PC, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is called Heading Out. Let's have a look at this.
Son, I will tell you why it is hard to be a man when you have to stand even when you lost the game.
Have a nice advert, Foxy Bingo. Wow, it don't even want to play that. That's fucking hanging like bad.
I think everybody also is sitting there being foxybingo.com.
Yeah. Guess an 8 out of 10. 18s and over. May only apply. Let's see if we can get this working.
Son, I will tell you why it is hard to be a man when you have to stand even when you lost the game. Nothing in common, yet the same story, same old road. When you scream, that's the last time you've been fooled again. With the cold blood veins, with the snake's tongues in your mouth, reaching out sunlight. No illumination, it's all I see. You don't belong with me, it's all I see.
There you go. Last trailer, we managed to get it work. God knows what's going on today. All the trailers just gone, yeah, we're not doing this today. We are not doing this. So that is Heading Out, which came out today on PC. Dave, tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, this is sort of trying to get the vibes of sort of cult classic road movies. Whilst the trailer tends to focus quite a lot on like the driving elements, I think that's more of a smaller part of the game. More of the game is sort of focused on that overworld map. And like you've got a randomized destination each time you play it. I think the sort of end goal is to get to that point where you'll be challenging like the greatest driver to like a race. Various events can happen along your journey, and I think it has a bit more of a visual novel feel. You see the events that come up. There'll be like sort of narrative bits. You make a particular choice, and that affects things you hear on the radio, or affects what sort of people know about you as you get further along the journey. But then there are segments where it does go into the racing. Parts that we see in the trailer as well. You've got to sort of get away from the cops or beat somebody in a race to earn enough money to sort of continue to pay for fuel and stuff for the rest of your journey. And it looks quite cool when you get to the race segments. The art styles, going for that black and white comic book look with the odd splash of colour. Here and there. Reminds me a bit of the old Sin City films, the way they the black and white. It's that sort of feel to it. I think it's supposed to be a bit more arcadey, the sort of handling of the car, which apparently can be a little bit iffy. It's not going for like a sim or anything like that. It's just like arcadey racing, which isn't meant to be that good when you get to those bits. But that sounds like it's more of a smaller segment of the game, compared to what the trailer makes it out to be. But it certainly sounds interesting. A little road movie adventure that can be different each time you play it because it's a roguelike.
Okay. Evening, Fleabag. How you doing? He's raging. Ellie's got him playing Spyro. So there you go. Good to see you. Good to see you, mate. Yeah, I kind of like the sound of this game, and the fact that it's got that weird comic book feel. Whether I'm gonna be too fussed because I like arcadey sort of drive, doesn't matter if it's janky to me. Yeah, it's kind of got my attention. Again, It's only out on PC at the moment, but if it came onto something else, I'd probably give it a go. JB, your thoughts on this one?
I am not a fan of kind of like we spoke about earlier, not racing games, not really my thing. I do wonder if because it's come out on PC, will it handle better on a controller?
Possibly.
Because I feel like a lot of those kind of like older versions of games and a little bit more jankier games work better with controllers. Same with Hades. Hades work better with a controller than keyboard and mouse. But yeah, I played it on PC with a keyboard and mouse. So I'm a bit torn about it. I do like the concept of the kind of choice in the game affects what plays on the radio and affects what people know about you and all of that. I like that that's a development of the story and it's not just a like Need for Speed Most Wanted or whatever it is, where it's like if you miss a car, you get points, and if you crash, you get more points, and if you knock the police, you get more points. And I like the fact there was more depth to that. It's not something I'll play, but I think people that play driving games and want something a little bit different, this probably will be right up their alley.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. All right. Let's get your scores, folks. This is the last one. Get your scores in chat. A couple of people already put in scores. We've got Danka saying 7.5, Gozzo 7.5, Kylie 7, Boba 7.5, Jenny 8. Icor says I'm thinking an 8 on this. JB, what do you reckon?
I don't want to go with everybody. I'm going to go with 6.5 as it's normally gone high, high, low, low, high, high, low, low throughout this whole thing. So I'm going to go low.
Play the odds.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. 6.5 it is on that theory. Okay. Dave, what say you?
I'll try a 7.
Going for a 7. Okay, folks. Last chance. Get your scores in. This is Heading Out, which came out today on PC. Boba says, if I'm right, I'll throw my Prime sub at you. Okay, mate. That's cool. I appreciate that. We'll see if you are right. Flame says a 6. And if there are no more scores, because it's last game of the night, I can tell you that it don't look like I'm getting a Prime sub, but he was ever so close because this, like 3 other games this week, got 8 out of 10.
All right.
Wow.
This has probably been one of the highest scoring weeks we've had in ages. So we've had 5 out of the 8 games that have scored really well, and then 3 that have scored okay. So you go, 8 out of 10. So Jenny, well done. Danka says there's not Steam Deck verified, so it might have control issues for Steam Deck. So just play it on PC. iQuail, well done. Bo was like, damn it. Always next week, mate. Always next week. Don't worry. Next week. Well done. Well done, Jenny. Well done. Well done, everyone. Got it right. Congratulations. Danka got 6 out of 8 right tonight. That's bloody good going. Well done. So there you go. Down the man. I think Jenny got 4. So that's really good going. So there you go. Congratulations to all of you. And remember, go follow these lovely, lovely people that have got these right because they support the channel. So you should go support them as well. Our final news story of the night before we wrap up things. Now, this has been a great story. So I wanted to say this for last. And it's progressed over the bank holiday weekend. So let's start at the beginning. Helldivers 2. That's all I have to say. Everyone's going to know what to say. So it was announced by Sony that as of the 30th of May, you would need to, if you're an existing player or new player, sign up for a PSN account so that you could play Helldivers 2 on Steam. This caused absolute outrage. So much so, because there is 177 territories that don't allow the PSN network. Therefore, Boba, thank you for dropping that Prime. You didn't have to, mate. You didn't get it right, but thank you so much. That's greatly appreciate it. Can we get a shout out? Exclamation sub hype in chat. Greatly appreciate this. And on top of that, people took to Steam and review bombed the fuck out of the game. There was over 215,000 negative reviews on Steam alone. Now, this is where I'm going to say a few things. Sony stated they were doing this for more safety and security reasons to stop people getting hacked and people not cheating at the game. People reacted like they did because Sony didn't really have the greatest track record of safety and security because of all the fucking security breaches they've had over the last couple of years. Now, I'm also going to state this as well. This was Sony that decided this, not the devs of the game. And unfortunately, by people review bombing the game, it made it look bad for the devs, not Sony. Well thought out there, people. Sony technically published the game, so it's kind of it's made it technically. Helldivers 2 so far this year was gonna be the 7th most successful game, and because of the review scores, it has fucked it out of the top 10. Move on to yesterday. So obviously the reaction from people was not good. So Sony did a U-turn and put a statement out yesterday and basically said, we have now decided on the decision to not make you have a PSN account to play the game. To which there was a mixed reaction, which has gone over the last 24 hours. Obviously, Arrowhead, the devs, have kind of have been a bit like, yes, and JB sent me something earlier, like, yes, this is how we managed to stick it to Sony and you keep our game alive. Please do, not leave us negative reviews. Please do kind of get good reviews back in, and we'll give you like a new flag and some new bits and pieces in the game to celebrate that, we've taken down Sony in a Helldivers 2 kind of way. But technically, there's two other things here. There's still a bit of a reaction from the people that have Steam bombed it because and review bombed it, because they're still stating that for the PlayStation version, there's still 177 territories that you cannot play it on the PlayStation version. So they've said they will not redact the bad reviews until PlayStation sorts this out. So that's the first problem. The second problem is it's not actually all Sony's fault. It's come to light today because Arrowhead, the devs, did know that this was one of the conditions of the game, but due to early issues when the game came out, they weren't allowed to implement it. And at no point did Arrowhead actually say or state or advertise that this was going to be a thing that was needed. They've now turned around and held their hands up and gone, yeah, we didn't communicate this very well. So on the one side, you've got Arrowhead going, we beat Sony, blah, blah, blah. But you guys agreed it in the first place, and this was going to be a thing that was always going to happen, but you never announced it? Double standards here. Bit of a long story because it develops over the 3 days. I'm sure we haven't heard the last of it. I want everyone's thoughts on it. Chat, Dave, JB. Dave, I'll start with you on this because this I thought was really interesting.
I think it was always a known requirement. I'm pretty sure it's always been on the Steam page that it needs, a Sony account. I think it's just the devs switched it to be optional to get people on early on, which is a mistake. They should have not done that really, because that didn't do any favors. Because when I brought it, I'm pretty sure I was forced to connect to the PSN.
Yeah,
I don't believe I could skip it. I think I played it within like a couple of days of launch. I'm pretty sure it was mandatory then. So they kind of shot themselves in the foot a little bit by making it optional. But I don't really see much problem with having to link to a different account because we do it with so many games. Does anyone really bat an eye when you have to sign into an Epic account for Fortnite?
Yeah.
If you play GTA 5, you've got to sign into Rockstar Social Club. There's so many that have been doing it for years, so it's not a new thing. I think where they already shot themselves in the foot, it just shows a bit of a lack of forward planning. I guess it must be from Sony's side. They should never have sold it in all those territories that they couldn't actually support it in.
I know that's the bad thing.
That's a stupid thing, because was it 117 or 170 odd territories? It's a ridiculous number.
177.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous number. So, they were basically taking away a game that people had paid for if they carried on with what they were planning. Yeah, and they were just left with an unplayable game because whilst you could be cheeky and use a VPN in those countries to get around the regional restriction, you would still be going against Sony's terms of service, and they could theoretically ban the accounts anyway after the facts. But it should never have sold it in those places anyway. That probably would have solved a lot of the problems if they had just kept it mandatory in the first place, sold it in the regions they supported.
I think
they would just accepted it. And
I think no one would have batted an eyelid if it was clear from the start. Yeah, JB, your thoughts on this, and thank you for sending the extra bit of info. We greatly appreciate it.
That's fine. I'm always torn about this because for like Minecraft, you have to sign into you have to sign in through Xbox. And me personally, I don't know if there's like a bit of like fanboy kind of thing to it where it's like, I'm not a PlayStation fan, never really owned a PlayStation, had a PlayStation 1 and 2, had a 3, didn't ever play it. And then there's been Xbox for years. So me signing into an Xbox account, I've already got an Xbox account. That's fine for me. Yeah. And I don't think other people who may not have Xbox have to sign into it, which, you have to make a new account. I think the issue being is a lot of people, like in the countries that can't do it, that's a big issue. People talk because it's for security. If they said, it's just to make sure that we're marrying up the number of players to the number of accounts to make sure hacking or anything but security of accounts.
Yeah.
Because it was like 13 breaches in 10 years or something. Like it was very, very not secure. And I think the developers, Arrowhead had, if you're working with a big company like Sony, you're kind of being strong armed into doing what they say. If they're paying for it, you have to do what they say.
Yeah.
The devs actually went onto, I think it was Discord, onto their Discord server, being like, the more you review bomb, the stronger case we have to say to Sony, don't go ahead with this. So I think they were kind of like pushing the community into that direction as well. So they were pioneering the democracy within there, which for the games, like for anyone that's played it, you're like, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense. And there's a lot of things coming out now about like the challenges they had, and Arrowhead's being like, yes, it has also been out since beginning that eventually you will have to make a PSN account, but it was never like, if you're loading into the game, have it in the bottom corner being like PSN account linked in brackets, mandatory coming soon. So when you're logging in, you know what you're getting into. It was never mentioned. It was kind of like hidden in the small print. So I'm very torn about it. I love the fact that finally a community has backed the developers and actions have been made from the repercussions of something we're doing. Which helps maybe in the future when companies do go, maybe we'll do this little cheeky thing. They look back and go, do you remember that time Sony did this thing? Maybe we shouldn't. I'm a massive fan of the game. I invested many hours into it. I was a little annoyed about it. A lot of my friends were like, just make a fake account with some fake details. But like, I don't want to have to make a new account because that's another thing I'm going to have to log into. And I think a lot of people are having the issue with like, Minecraft have their own kind of server that you have to go through. To log into Red Dead, you have to go through their server. Whereas I'm playing this on Steam. I'm not playing this on PlayStation. So why am I having to log into PlayStation for a Steam game? I think that's a big thing that people had an issue with as well. So maybe if they had their own dedicated server that you had to play it through, makes more sense. But I think there was I'm looking forward to seeing what's happening. I do like I sent Mag earlier. The devs were talking about, it's quite funny, the review bombing went in such a way that they hit a cool design for a cape. So they're toying with the idea now of releasing a cape or something like spreading democracy or something along the lines of that, or liberating something with the stats on the cape. And I was like, if that's not the biggest fuck you, I don't know what is, man. Like, that is such a good way to be like thanking the community for something that is, fundamentally, I think that's probably what they wanted to do in the first place is not have people sign up. But there
you go. It's probably been the most interesting story of the bank holiday as it's unfolded. It's hilarious. And then, Tim Triangle Face was here earlier. They were talking about it on their show last night, and as it did, they then announced the news that okay, Sony have U-turned on this. It was just like, oh my god, this just gets better. Professor Stork says, "I like Chicken Nug's hair." Random, I know. There you go.
No, I appreciate it.
There you go.
Yeah. Sorry, someone did actually mention earlier on as well, like the Overwatch issue. I think that was the same thing with Overwatch, where it was a free-to-play game. So it was a pay-to-play game, but then they had loot box and everything, and then all of a sudden they made it free-to-play. You have to sign. You have to sign in with a phone number. You have to give her your details.
Yeah.
And again, a lot of people were like, "Why am I doing this? Like, why is this?" And maybe back then, if people did go, "Okay, cool, we're not going to play the game. We're going to review bomb it," maybe something would have come from it. But
yeah,
alas.
Crazy world we live in. It's never a dull moment in the games industry. There you go, folks. That, ladies and gentlemen, is our show this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. There's no extra games this week because obviously with the bank holiday, it's been a bit of a quiet one. On next week's show, we are going to be talking about, hopefully, Prison Architect 2. V Rising gets its official release after being early access. We got Little Kitty Big City, which lands on Xbox. One that I know Dave's probably excited for, Homeworld 3, finally lands on PC. And we've got the early access of the Rogue of Prince of Persia, the second Prince of Persia game to come out, which if you watched my show last week, you would have seen that on there. So that and much more. And our guests next week are some wonderful devs that I met at WASD. We have got the wonderful people of Lightfoot Bros, who are making the game that comes out in Halloween of 2025, which is Sleepy Time Village. So we've got the devs of that game on the show. If you're not following JB, go check out his Twitch channel. Go check out his, I think I should drop this, his TikTok. Thank you, Dan. Go follow now. JB, thank you for being such an awesome guest.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on, man. I remember the first time we met and you mentioned it, and I was like, oh, that sounds like a good idea. And then I guess time, distance, and just everything else in life kind of got busy. And then we met again, and I was like, I need to get on your talk show at some point.
Yeah, I remember the conversation we had back at EGX. I was like, right, I'm not letting him go this time. He's got to come on the show. So that was cool. Professor says, definitely giving a follow. Awesome. Please do give JB a follow.
Can I quickly just say, alongside the streaming thing, so tomorrow on TikTok, I'll be starting Spider-Man Remastered for all you Spider-Man fans.
Cool.
I'll see you then.
Nice. Go see it. So what time's that going to be on?
So normally I aim around 8:30, but I do have a full-time job and life gets busy. So yeah, normally between 8 and 9, half 8 to 9 is exactly normally where sweet spot.
Right. Spider-Man Remastered live on TikTok between half 8 and 9. Go get it. Jesse says, great guest. There you go.
Thank you, Jesse.
Good night, everyone. Sorry I was late to party, but GG's on what I saw stream. Thank you, Fleabag. Good to see you, mate. You take care. iQuell says, good show. Night, everyone. And also, we can't forget you lot, you wonderful people in chat. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being so awesome. Thank you to the mods for doing all the shout outs and keeping everyone informed. And of course, Dave, the fountain of knowledge. Thank you so much for being just basically you and doing what you do so well. So thank you so much. Let's go and do a raid. Yeah, JB, we will see you at Timeless, mate. I look forward to seeing you there.
Yeah, sure
will. We will sneak you into the Content Creators Lounge. Don't worry about that. So we'll make that happen. We'll make that happen. Let's see who's on. Let's see who we can raid. I've got to do the... Here we go. Let's press the button on the stream deck. This is where my internet's been dying on its arse tonight. I'm surprised we got through the show, but I think we might just get away with a raid. Oh, here we go. It's loading up. Who can we raid? Who we haven't raided in a while? Let's see. Oh. Is that... Let me just check. Is that... It is. So someone else that was at WASD, who I also met at for the first time at Debug, the Debug Gaming Awards back in February, is Ember Shadow, who will also be at Timeless because she's a Timeless content creator. I think she's also going to be at Format as well in September, which we'll talk more of later in the year. So let's go raid Ember Shadow. She is playing the original Resident Evil, but I think it might be the remastered one. possibly. Or she might just have finished it. Shit, she might just have finished it. So let's go raid her very quickly. But this is Ember Shadow. She's cool. And that raid will start once the end credits have rolled. And all that leaves for me to say, folks, is wherever you are in the world, have a great morning, a great afternoon, or a great evening. And I shall see you tomorrow at 9 p.m. for a very special build-up to Halloween with Amy's choice of Resident Evil 3 Remastered. And on that note, yeah, let's do that thing where we just wave until I press a button. Thanks very much.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.